Are you ready for today's story? Because this one has purple satin flight suits, silent films, sibling rivalry powered by spite, a champagne toast nobody noticed, and two aviation pioneers undone not by lack of skill, but by gravity, bad timing, and the absence of a seatbelt. I'm Bill, and this is Buffalo Air Park. Let's dive in. Grab a drink and pull up a chair, because today we're talking about two of the boldest, sharpest, and most unfairly sidelined figures in early aviation history, Harriet Quimby and Bessie-Coleman. They never met. They never flew together. But somehow, their lives rhymed in ways that feel almost scripted. Before Harriet Quimby ever climbed into an airplane, she'd already mastered something just as dangerous in the early 1900s, reinventing herself. She told New York Society she was born into a wealthy California family in 1884. Reality check? She was born in a Michigan farmhouse in 1875 and quietly shaved 9 years off her age to help herself break into the elite media circles. And it worked. Harriet became a journalist in San Francisco, reportedly one of the first writers to regularly use a typewriter. She had a fascination with speed, cars, machines, anything that moved faster than society expected women to move. By the time she reached New York, she wasn't just reviewing plays, she was writing for Leslie's Illustrated Weekly, offering advice on everything from theater to how women could fix their automobiles. And here's the part that most people never hear. Harriet Quimby was one of America's first female screenwriters. In 1911, she wrote 7 silent film scenarios for D.W. Griffith, including The Blind Princess and The Poet and His Mother's Scarf. She even acted in one herself. Journalist, screenwriter, actress. And she hadn't even touched an airplane yet. When Harriet finally turned to flying, she did it her way. While other women modified men's clothes, Harriet designed her own plum-colored satin flying suit, complete with a hood, because if you're going to risk your life in an open cockpit, you might as well look fantastic doing it. On August 1st, 1911, she became the first woman in the United States to earn a pilot's license. Then came her greatest feat. On April 16, 1912, Harriet Quimby became the first woman to fly across the English Channel, alone, in freezing fog, navigating with a compass she just learned to use, and a hot water bottle strapped to her waist for warmth. She landed on a beach in France. Fishermen toasted her with champagne, and the world barely noticed. Why? Because the Titanic sinking had happened the day before. Harriet survived flying over open water, and headlines said, "Not now, we've got an iceberg situation." 2 months later, at an aviation meet in Boston, Harriet took organizer William Willard up for a flight. At about 1,000 feet, the aircraft pitched forward. Whether William leaned too far or the balance shifted, we'll never know. Both were thrown from the cockpit. They fell into the mudflats of Dorchester Bay. In the airplane, it glided down, landed by itself, barely damaged. A machine that could fly perfectly well, just without its pilots. Harriet Quimby was 37 years old. Now, fast forward a decade, Bessie-Coleman was born into a sharecropping family in Texas, brilliant at math, determined, relentless. She moved to Chicago and became the best manicurist in Black Chicago, literally winning competitions, working at the White Sox barbershop, a hub for influential connections. But flying schools in America wouldn't take her. She was black, and she was a woman. So she did something extraordinary. After her brother returned from World War I and teased her, "French women fly, and you never will," Bessie learned French, packed her bags, and went to Paris. She walked 9 miles a day to flight training. She watched other students crash and die. She kept going. In 1921, Bessie-Coleman became the first African American and Native American woman to earn an international pilot's license. She came home a star and a force of principle. Bessie refused to perform at surrogated air shows. She demanded equal entrances for black audiences, and when she was offered a starring role in a film called Shadow and Sunshine, she initially accepted, hoping it would fund her dream of opening a flight school. Then she read the script. Rags, stereotypes, ignorance played for laughs. Bessie walked off set, famously saying, "No Uncle Tom stuff for me." She chose dignity over money. In 1926, in Jacksonville, Florida, Bessie was riding in the passenger seat while her mechanic, William Wills, flew the plane. She wasn't wearing a seatbelt. She was leaning over the cockpit, scouting terrain for a parachute jump planned for the next day. A loose wrench slid into the control gears. The plane flipped. Bessie Coleman fell 2,000 feet. She was 34 years old. After the crash, spilled fuel ignited, accidentally, turning the wreckage into a fireball. They never met, but they shared something rare. Harriet believed flying was easier than walking, driving, or playing tennis, which is an unbelievable flex for 1912. And Bessie believed the sky was the only place free from prejudice. One crossed oceans with a compass and a hot water bottle. The other crossed continents to claim a seat in the cockpit. They conquered the sky when the world on the ground wasn't ready for them. And that, more than tragedy, more than irony, is why their stories still matter. And that wraps up another tale from Aviation's Stranger Side. Until next time, keep your eyes on the skies.